The
have to
other
sell
thing,
them.
the other thing that I think is important here is to realize, and this is really important, that Cade put his website up about a month ago, and so it was recent, and he ended up altering it, and I have no doubt he'll alter it again. The point is that at some point you've got to pull the trigger on stuff. You've
Yeah.
got to do it, even if it's not the final website. It doesn't matter. Get it started, get the
Mhm.
ideas there. Then you read a book or listen to a podcast that inspires you, tweak it, change it. I find a lot of people are so busy researching and trying to become an expert at something before they make the first move
Right.
that they never do it. And often 10 minutes of real life doing something is worth a year of reading about it. And,
Agreed.
and, and, and that's a big thing. Maybe it's a personality thing. I don't know. But a lot of people just are scared to take that first step before they know
Yeah.
more, not realizing that plunging into the deep end is how you learn more. And yes, you'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
And yes, but that's how you learn. And if I mean, I would never have started Perkel if I had overthought it. I don't
Right.
think I would ever have gotten married. I'm very happy I did. If I'd overthought it, I don't think I would ever have had kids. Do you want little monsters eating all your food all day, needing you for 20 years, and never being able to do your things? No, but it's the best thing I ever did. A funny
Fuck.
thing I always say to my kids when they ask like something weird, not weird, like something like, can I have a piece of banana or whatever? You know what I always say is make yourself at home. Because I remember a time when they weren't here. And they
Yeah.
say, Dad, I
Yeah.
am at home. And I'm like,
That's funny.
yeah, it's my home. No, but I mean, obviously it's their home as well. There was another funny story that a guy bought, it was his son's 21st birthday. So he bought, the son wakes up and he's so excited. He's still living at dad's home. And there's all these boxes stacked up and he's so excited. And he opens the boxes and there's absolutely nothing in them. And he says, Dad, what's
Oh.
going on? And Dad's like, well, happy birthday, son. You're 21. Time to pack your shit and get out.
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. And also to your point about the website. Yeah, I made that website. I it's one of those, yeah, the analysis paralysis, but also it's not even that. It's how much desperateness you have, how much insecurity you have in your own body and brain to the point where it overtakes that paralysis, where you're like, okay, I'm so miserable and so broke and so desperate for this to work. I'll fucking do this, I guess. And then you'll make that first step. My website looked like absolute shit in the beginning. When people would approach me to say, hey, would you potentially want to do a video or something, I'd have to spend that time convincing them that it was worth it, because they're like, well, I should just do a paid promo with some other person. I'm like, no, like for this reason and that reason. And I'm trying to sell them. By that point, I've lost 75% of my people because of the approach that I had versus this. By the time they get to my offer, they're like, where the fuck, like, how much does it cost? Like, I'm ready to go. By the time they email me, they're already 90% in. I just have to send them the address and say, okay, here's the prices. Which one do you want to go with? Are you ready to go? And they say yes or no, and then move. It's just a lot more easier. And like,
I
but that
think
happened months after I made that website. Right. So I agree.
Yeah, yeah, but I also think it could also be a positive thing that someone feels, if you're going to pay me, someone who's in analysis paralysis or whatever feels, look, if someone's going to pay me for a service, I need to be better qualified than I am, and so let me research more. And before I start anything, and I think that that's a very noble character trait to have. So it's not necessarily a negative thing. I'm just saying at some point it's time to actually take that step and say, you know what? Yes, there's more to learn, but am I going to read every single book on the subject before I even start?
Yep.
Or do I know enough now to confidently take that first step and see where it goes
And that's
and learn on
exactly
the
it.
job?
That is exactly it. In the beginning, it's endearing and it's smart and it's necessary. And at a certain point, you're going to cross the line, and now you're just being a pussy. Now you're being a pussy. And that's what I identified in myself this past year. There was a point where I had a couple offers to do things, try some new business ventures last year. And I said no, because it wasn't because the real reason was I was fucking scared. I just didn't want to take the chance that maybe it doesn't go all the way right, and now I'm going to be crucified. And it wasn't worth that risk for me. So I just said no to a whole new business venture that would have been an amazing experience for me. Because I was like, if it's not going to work 100%, doesn't go to the moon, doesn't become board of yacht club, then it's like it's a waste and it's going to crush my reputation, and I'm done for. It's not worth it. And I got too scared. Whereas now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm somewhat well established. I kind of know I know sort of what I'm doing, like, blah, blah, blah. I feel a little bit more equipped. And this is the time, because I've been getting more and more offers for more professional opportunities and cool stuff. I'm like, you know what? Am I really just going to say no to all these because I'm just so fucking scared? I'm just being scared when that's the real reason. And no, like, I should just try this. And so I started saying yes more and trying things and at least taking the meetings. And most of them still suck. And most of the pitches are unbelievably so fucking bad. I don't even understand how they're doing this. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about learning more about the sales funnels and pitching, because I couldn't believe. I've been pitched so many times. I'm being pitched like every day at this point now, and the pitches are so bad, bro. They're so bad. They're convincing me the whole time, trying to convince me, rather than just like offering the problem that I have, and then just giving me the solution.
Yeah,
So
for sure. For sure. Look, I also think that you've got to be long-term focused also. And I don't know if I necessarily agree that you should have jumped in with a 10,000 PFP collection in the bear market.
No, it wasn't that. It was like
in the bull market.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Because I think that was a clever move not to do that, because your reputation is all you really have. So, yeah, not so black and white, but definitely in theory, at some point, if you've got this constant inkling at you that, this is where I need to be, but I'm so worried it's not going to work.
Yeah.
At some point, I think you've got to try take the plunge. And worst case, it doesn't work. You've learned more than you could read in books for the next 50 years. Yeah. And at least you go to bed knowing it never worked despite me trying everything. That wasn't meant to be. What's the next thing?
Plus, everyone forgets, bro. I thought everyone would remember. I was like, people are going to remember the fact that I was right about this. They're going to remember that I did this and then this happened and blah, blah, blah. People don't give a shit, dude. They forget within 2 days. So it's like, even if you do fuck up, as long as it's not malicious intent, like you meant to fuck up and take everyone's money, it's just a mistake. And like, people will forgive you. You just have to earn it back. I don't know. In my opinion, if you make a mistake and you make up for it and you earn it back, I think there's no problem with that. Plus, most people do forget. Like, what are you talking about? People literally don't give a shit that Azuki rugged. Or the founders.
I don't forget.
You don't forget, but like, people are still buying it. They don't care. It doesn't come up in every space anymore.
That's a lucky one. That's a lucky one. There's a lot of ones where it came out that the founder had previous rugs that ended up going to zero.
But that's what I'm saying. It was malicious intent. If it wasn't malicious intent and they just tried something and didn't work, people are like, they don't care anymore. Like, there's so many projects like that right now.
Might have been malicious intent.
Right. No, but I'm using it as an example. Like, even
I'm saying that
even him, if he goes on a Twitter space, if there's 10 people that come up, I doubt any of them are going to be related to that. Maybe one.
Yeah, because only 30 people on that space are the ones that have forgiven or don't know or don't care. But that space might have had 5 times or 100 times the amount of people. You saw the floor price before he said who he was. Mm-hmm. It was 30 ETH. It went to 10 ETH immediately. It's never gotten. It's now 11.
Now, what is that now?
11.
Oh, it's at 11 right now?
Yeah, it's never, gone. So he lost 66% of his market when
as he should. Yeah, as he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my main point was, like, if people hadn't
spent, I agree with that. If people hadn't spent 30 ETH on the NFT, I think a lot more would have left. But once you've got 30 ETH invested in it and overnight it's gone to 10 ETH, you like, okay, I'm here for the log ride because I wanted to get back to at least 35 Ethereum.
That's why their brand is so strong. Everyone's just trying to get the fuck out. Could you imagine it hits to like 30 ETH again and it just goes completely into zero and everyone's like,
it'll go completely to zero.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Okay, this one is